Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. I'm here with Marissa Cardwell. She is a registered dietitian and a personal trainer, here to talk to us about the 1-2 punch, which is a great strategy on how we can eat balanced and stay healthy and well. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on.
So tell me about this 1-2 punch.
So this is a philosophy that we use. My partner, Claudia Wilson, wrote this book called The 1-2 Punch. And this has a lot of information. And what I try to do is use these overarching principles to come up with a really personalized plan for my clients that come in. So we do everything from seeing people in our office to doing grocery tours or cooking classes or coming to your home if that's what works for you, to come up with something that is really going to help you have success.
I think I know what I'm supposed to eat and what is healthy and what isn't, but putting it into practice, especially in our day-to-day really busy lives, can be a huge challenge. So
it's hard.
What's your trick? What's the 1-2 punch?
So the first principle of 1-2 punch is burn, which is essentially when to eat. A lot of people ask me, like, when should I eat? And my answer to that is intuitive eating, which is essentially you eat when you're hungry and you stop when you're full. And you learn when those hunger cues, what they mean, and not to confuse them with maybe other emotions. And that's a big piece. That's really hard for people to learn. And that's why I'm here as an eating coach, to help you to learn that. But you eat when you're hungry, you eat foods that you enjoy and are satisfying, and then you stop when you're full. That's the when to eat. That's the first burn. The second principle is balance, which is the what to eat. So that's why I have my plate here. So essentially what I'm trying to teach people to do is every time they eat, to have a fistful of protein and a fistful of carbohydrates. So your fist is your portion size. My 2-year-old, his little fist, that's his portion size of carbohydrates and protein. And then we're gonna balance that out with a half a plate of vegetables. And the vegetables provide a lot of fiber and nutrients and water, and it helps you feel full and satisfied. But the big thing that we're trying to learn is to balance the carbohydrates and protein.
I love that. It's such a great visual, but I'm curious, what if you're eating like a burrito or a fajita or something? You have the tortilla, which is the carb, which might be a little bigger than that triangle. And then your protein and vegetables, like, I love when it's that visual, but it not always is. So
yeah,
how
and
can you
some
create
foods are
that?
mixed, right? So I try to teach people, like, a piece of pizza, like you've got your crust, which is a carb, and your meat and cheese, which is a protein. So maybe like 2 pieces of pizza might be 2 fists worth, and then you're gonna balance that out with a bunch of cut veggies or salad. So when we're trying to do like soups or burritos or fajitas, you're kind of just eyeballing it, and it's not going to be perfect. And that third principle is the become, which is practicing. And it's not easy. It's not an easy thing. When it's something that we're going to have to do every day for the rest of our lives, right? And so it's a learning process, and we practice and we get better, and we don't beat ourselves up when we're not perfect. Right. And you don't need me to tell you that, a piece of grilled chicken and quinoa is going to be a healthy meal. But you might need someone to tell you that sometimes it's okay to have a piece of cake right here. It's okay to balance fun foods that are satisfying and with healthy foods, so that all around we can stick to this long term. We like to say there's no wagon to fall off of, because all foods can fit in this model.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's such a good visual just to think about it. Even if you're having a sandwich, maybe have the bread a little thinner, or just one piece of bread to make sure, and then pile on the veggies. It's just definitely a good reminder. You brought some simple snacks that are healthy. Tell us more about those.
So I'm getting a lot of questions right now. Like, what should I be having for snacks, easy snacks? What should my kids be having? Or like, what should I be having before and after workouts? And so the principle is the same. It's going to be, you're balancing your protein with your carbohydrates. And so it could be something as really simple as some cheese and fruit. We've got your fist of fruit, which is a carb, and your cheese, which is a protein. It could be something that's pre-made, and you've got your protein with some crackers. We've got this Greek yogurt here. Greek yogurt I count as a protein, but this one is flavored and has some added sugars, and so I count that as a mixed food. It's about 50-50 carbs and protein. The same thing with this protein bar. It's balanced. It's about half carbs, half protein. So finding things that will work and are balanced, you could have apples and almond butter. It could be really simple, but we're trying to balance your blood sugars by having about equal amounts of carbohydrates and proteins.
I definitely think these are great options, and stocking our fridge with these choices and then remembering to grab them in the morning is
easy is better, right?
Yeah. a lot better.
I like portable, easy, everyone in the family can eat it, and it really does come down to preference, which is why, you know, if you have someone that can help work with you and figure out what your preferences are and then how to fit them in a plan that's going to help you in the long term. And so I believe that when you are balancing your blood sugars, that does help with weight control. It helps with your mood. When your blood sugars are stable throughout the day, you feel better, right? And in terms of like long-term disease risk, having balanced blood sugars and being at a stable, healthy weight you're gonna reduce your risks by a lot.
Oh, absolutely. I think we always can tell when we're eating well, we feel better. But emotional eating is definitely a struggle, you know, so especially for me, if I'm, you know, have a rough morning, I want that donut and I feel better, which is bad. So what are some tips to handling emotional eating?
So that comes down to that intuitive eating. I try to help you to establish what emotions are causing you to eat when you're not hungry, and how else to cope with those emotions that aren't food related. So you're really stressed, you want a donut, what else can you do in that moment that's not food related that can help cope with that stress? I mean, everyone these days has a lot of different stressors in their life, and I try to help people find ways to either practice self-care or different coping mechanisms that don't use food. And when they do, they're a lot happier, they feel better, and I think when you cope with food, you don't feel good after. It helps for a minute. You feel good while you're eating that donut. And then after, you're like, I don't know what just happened. Right?
Yeah, definitely. And I love these solutions, these ideas that you brought. Simple, easy to grab, and really the whole family can eat those. I'd love to hear more, but we're running out of time. Where can we get more information about you, and what kind of services do you offer?
So we work with everything from eating disorders and mental health to sports nutrition, vegetarian nutrition, weight management, weight loss. Like I said earlier, I do the grocery tours and cooking classes. You can see us at allofnutrition.com, and we're on all of social media, and our handle's allofnutrition.
All of Nutrition. I love it. And one more thing, what has made you so passionate about health? What made you decide to take this as a career path?
It's just been something I've been interested in my whole life. I did my undergraduate degree in behavioral psychology, and working with eating disorders has always been a passion. But I find that working with eating disorders has translated well to working with everyone across the age range on, you know, working towards their goals.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your passion with us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. I'm feeling healthier.
Good.
All right. Well, thanks so much to Marissa Cardwell for teaching us some great ideas. The 1-2 punch. Remember that as you plan your day, as you plan your food and your meals. And we're going to work on not emotionally eating, because it's not going to help in the long run. So thank you, Marissa, for coming. We'll have to have you come back and teach us some more of your great tips and tricks to keep us healthy and well. All right, much more coming up. People's Health Clinic will be up right after this quick break.